Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Regina. So very good to see you all. You guys brighten my mood because it reminds me of my purpose and it reminds me of the things that I've contributed to and that are still contributing to me. So very good to see you guys. So we're doing a little bit of multitasking because it is almost dinner time and I'm hungry. so so you're gonna be able to trim along with me much earlier than I normally come on and a little bit later than a lunch and learn. But I know some people are making dinner, so go ahead and turn your volume up. And if you have questions or comments, today is definitely the day. We're talking about challenges because it is Thankful Thursday. And for those who may not be as familiar with me, I am Dr. Regina. What I do is I help people to transform their lives by developing a mindset for growth and success. And I'm using a slightly different technology here. So it's going to show me a couple different things, which I think is super neat. It should show me your comments. Hey. So you're catching you when you're awake. Yes, Pam, how are you? Good. Yes, you are awake, and I'm glad to see you. Natalie, hello. Hello, you don't cook. That's okay. The weather here is beautiful. It's like in the 70s, I think. Low 80s, high 70s, but it's been beautiful. So today we're talking about challenges, and I'm going to try to keep it on the comment stream because I know what I look like and I know it's streaming. But what I wanted to talk to you about is how exactly to deal with challenges and have a mindset that deals with challenges. Okay. So Marcus, you're following me. Folks are following me on Periscope and Facebook. I love this because I may also have some folks tune in from YouTube Live. There's opportunities for people to go over and watch there as well. But you guys know what I love to do. I love teaching, and I love being able to share fairly transparently about things that may be going on in my life that may be a source of a challenge. So I'm going to give you two examples of challenges today. And I'm going to talk to you about how I literally reframed those challenges in my mind. And then what I want you to do is if you have a challenge right now that's kind of bothering you and you want to reframe it, you can share it with me. Marcus, Spain is hot. Well, I imagine that it is. I'm so excited for you being out there and enjoying yourself in that beautiful balmy weather. Just let me know when you're going to send me my ticket, okay? Or the invitation to come and speak. I will take either. Either of those would be very, very good. I have not been to Spain. I've been to other parts of Europe, but I have not been to Spain. So that would be a pretty nice trip. I was looking at some CME, some continuing medical education, a cruise, and it was going to Italy and going along the coast there. And I had to decide between Italy or I think France. And I was like, yeah, definitely Italy, the food. I mean, both have wonderful food, but I think that I'd have a little bit more variety in Italy, in and around Italy. I don't know why, but I think that's going to happen. So you can go ahead and type in your challenges or your comments about the challenge that you're dealing with today, and I will teach you how to reframe it. The Word of God says, in everything give thanks. But it doesn't necessarily say how to give thanks. So, Marcus, you've got a couple people that have already said, if I get invited to come and speak in Spain, Pam says she's going to carry my books. I appreciate that, Pam. I appreciate that. The little bean says hello. Say hi, Amir. Say hi. He says it's kind of saying hi, but it's in between Lucky Charms. So, yeah. So we got one portion of our meal done. So that's our little veggies that we're going to bake in a little bit. I'll try to turn the oven on all at one time. But either way, here's an example. One's from myself, and then one was actually they're both from me, I think. But I was talking to a parent. I do coaching for people who are transitioning because they're caregivers who are transitioning in their role as caregivers. So they're usually leaving corporate or the 9 to 5 to work from home or to work in another type of setting that allows them more ability to be caregivers. I'll be speaking on that next Saturday at the Church of Severn Run. And then in July, I'll be speaking similarly about how caregivers can take care of themselves and things that they can do to help transition in July for the Banquet Network. So here's one example that I will give you of a challenge that we were able to turn into something to be thankful for. And I'm also going to start out by telling you, even if you feel like you can't change anything at all, how to be thankful. So part one, how to be thankful even when you can't change anything at all. Again, Word of God says in everything give thanks. It doesn't say for everything give thanks. It says in everything, in the midst of it, while you're in that circumstance, while you're in that situation, you can still give thanks for the things that you can be thankful for. And I usually have my little list where I'm just like, you know what? Nothing's going the way that I want today. Maybe it's not, because I can't always control other things that are going on with other people, but I can control me, right? And to some extent, I can control my feelings or my thoughts. That's where cognitive behavioral therapy comes in, which I also think is biblical. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Well, the thankful ream for me is starting out, I'm just thankful for life. And then breath. I don't have COPD or asthma, but even when I have patients or folks that I know that do have those problems, I say, you know what? When you're able to take a nice deep breath, or when you're able to breathe and you don't feel like you're in distress and you're not having to go for that inhaler, or you're not having to go for that, that prednisone, or you're not having to go to the emergency room or urgent care, that's something to be thankful for in that moment. So find something to be thankful for in the moment. Usually it's life, health, and strength. That was it. I thank God for life, health, and strength. So I kind of go through that as well. Thank God for life. Health. I may deal with some chronic pain periodically. All of us have our things that we deal with. But I was actually listening to Ravi Zacharias, and he was saying that he talked to his doctor, and there's a pain management doctor, and he was basically saying, I feel like I'm always, trying to manage. He's like, I feel like life is a management of pain sometimes. And I was blown away, because I guess I just had this idea that the super holy people, the T.D. Jakes and Ravi Zacharias and David Jeremiahs of the world never dealt with pain. And they could just pray for healing and all would be well. So when he said that he still had issues with pain, and he's a great theologian and a wonderful biblical teacher, I was thrown by that. But then I reminded myself that we all have our issue. We all have our thorn in our side, like Paul did. So whatever modicum of health you have, if your pain is not a 10 out of 10, can we give God thanks for the 9 out of 10? If you're only having sciatic pain and you don't have as much neck pain, can we give thanks that you don't have as much neck pain or as much headache today as you normally do? Let's be thankful for that and grateful for that. Life, health, strength. You have strength. I've been doing strong by Zumba, but I actually hurt my knees, and so I had to stop doing that. Looks like I may have a call. I may have to end you guys early. But, I have Strong by Zumba, and I'm not always able to do as much as I want. Yep, I'm on call today, guys. So that was what somebody from on call let me know I have a message. Comes right to my phone, tells me I have a call, and then they send me a little message letting me know that they want me to see someone or not see someone. So that's one thing. In terms of being thankful as well, besides life, health, and strength, usually family is in there, and also salvation for me. Not everybody, believes in Jesus and is a Christian from that perspective. You still can be thankful. You have a higher power, the universe, still be thankful. So for me, immediately I can go back to salvation. Okay, that's usually the first thing. But again, when life, health, and strength kind of pops up. And so I'll have that in my mind. You more drink? I want food. I want drink, please. Did you hear that? That's my buddy. Use those nice, strong words. Very good. Good asking. Let's give you the right thing. Got all kinds of stuff here. I don't want to give you garlic salt when I'm trying to give you flavor. You probably like it. But either way, here you go, bud. So salvation, life, health, strength, family, whatever form it takes. If you feel like you don't have any family at all or no friends at all, there's an online buddy that you can have. There may be Facebook friends. There may be Instagram or social media people. There's got to be somebody. For one of my patients, they told me they had absolutely nobody. And we started talking, and I said, it doesn't even have to be a human. I said, it can be a non-human. And I've had people that have their plants. I love my plants. I have my plants outside on the porch. And I said, it could be an animal as well. And lo and behold, I think within the same week, he noticed that he did have a squirrel that would come out in the neighborhood and kind of play around. And then the squirrel disappeared, and he's like, the squirrel disappeared, and I don't know what happened to it. Literally within the same week, someone gave him a puppy, and that is now his companion. Okay, that increases oxytocin, that bonding hormone, and that helps you feel better. So I tell people get a dose of medicine every day. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, and those things will go up, especially dopamine and serotonin. They will go up when you are more thankful. Why? If you assign yourself an accomplishment, or there's something that's a task or something that you feel like needs to be done, maybe it's call a friend, maybe it's reconnect with somebody, and you actually do it. Once you do that, the dopamine and the serotonin can go up. There's a sense of accomplishment and achievement, but they go up again with just thinking about it. So just thinking about things to be thankful for, it will increase your ability to respond and resonate on those very positive memories, and that can be helpful. So those are some ways, some things to be thankful for. Here's the how. Okay. The how of that is usually I try to reframe, and it is sometimes some people will call it looking for the silver lining. It's okay. Just pick them up and keep it moving. Some people will call it looking for the silver lining, but basically it's when you've said, you know what, this didn't go the way that I thought it should go, but I'm going to look for something different. And I'm going to give you an example. I had wanted to homeschool for a very long time, years. And I just hadn't bit the bullet because I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know if my kids would still be successful. It was a concern of mine. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And everything just kind of lined up to make it work. And I can't say that everything's been perfect, but it's definitely been worth it. And I've definitely noticed some blessings and some positive things. And when I finally, what drove me to that is that I really didn't feel like my son was getting the best care in school. And it's not that the teachers were doing anything wrong. And it's not that, the exact same teachers, a friend of mine, her daughter is in their classroom and does pretty well. But I've noticed that for family members and for friends of mine and for my son, if they're very high functioning, very, very high functioning, they tend to do well in certain programs. And if they're very low functioning or having a hard time with certain things, they also tend to do fairly well in some of these programs. But for my son, he's kind of the middle of the road, where some areas he's very high functioning, other areas he struggles. Okay. So he's reading, but he's not reading on his grade level. He does okay with fine motor he does okay with fine motor, but he does great with physical motor. And some of the kids in his class, for example, struggle with physical motor. And so the teachers may focus more on that. And he's like a superstar in some things, but not so great in others. So again, because of that kind of led me to some disappointments and some challenges. I can't tell you how many IEP meetings I was in, how often I was in and out of the school, how many times I just got very discouraged with the way things were. And I was like, wow, we need a different program. I even talked to a friend of mine who's a politician, and she said, you know what, you should probably start a charter school because it would meet the needs of your son. And I thought, that would be great, but it's not going to happen this year. There's no way that I could have done it this past year. And so what I ended up doing is I took my son out of public school and started him in a homeschooling program. And he has a different thing, similar to an IEP, but it's a little bit different than an IEP. And I think he's progressing better. So the challenge was that things weren't going well in the school. And I can't tell you, I'm going to say maybe 60 to 70% of parents that I run across in civic meetings, online, in speaking engagements, who will tell me things are just not going well for their child in school. But then they're kind of stuck and they're running the route of getting advocates and multiple IEP meetings. And then it's butting heads, and then there's attorneys that are involved, and it's just not a pleasant experience. And they're crying at IEP. I can tell you, I've been to IEP meetings since my son has been homeschooled, or the version of IEP meeting. Not a tear has been shed. So I took that challenge, turned it into an opportunity to do something different. And it was a blessing that we did it this year. And I'll tell you why. When I got the opportunity to go to Austin, I could have just gone for the week of the conference. It was like a week and a half, and I could have left the kids here and got somebody to take care of them and flown there and did all this stuff and then had to fly. I'm not saying I couldn't have done that, but it was so much more rewarding to me to be able to take my entire family. Both kids loved where we went. We were able to stay there the entire month and just have a really good time. So we were able to turn that challenge into a really good opportunity. So that's how I was able to do that. And that was something that I was able to be thankful for. So in everything give thanks, I'm thankful for some of the challenges that we had through school, because if everything had been going hunky-dory, I would have never thought to go on this homeschooling route. And then come March, we would have been stuck because I wouldn't have known what to do. I would have been very torn about going over 1,000 miles away from the family, not knowing how things were going to work out. So, it still could have worked out. I believe that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. But I think that it worked out even better the way that it did. Okay, so those are my little 2 cents on that. Thank you so much for joining me. I didn't see any specific challenges other than these questions about the weather and wanting to be in Spain, and I understand that. I'm not necessarily going to take that as a challenge, but Marcus, I know you're very thankful and grateful to be out in Spain and being able to do the work that you're doing there. So thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. You guys have a very blessed day on purpose. Take care. Can we say bye? Bye.
Bye.